Black Ops 6 Season 1 is finally here, and today I'm going to be giving you the new top 5 best guns to be using in Season 1 right now. If any of these help you out in any sort of way, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click that thumbs up button, and turn those post notifications on so you don't miss out on my future Black Ops 6 videos. We're going to be covering the brand new weapons that drop. There's a new score streak, some new perks, and a whole lot more. And with all that being said, let's get into the first loadout. We're gonna be starting off with the XM4, which did receive a balancing update. So they did slightly increase the minimum, medium, and maximum damage ranges, while at the same time nerfing the headshot multiplier, which made a lot of the ARs way too OP compared to some of the SMGs. So with that in mind, here's what I found to be the new best class setup in Season 1 for the XM4. So I like to throw an optic on. I'm not a fan of the iron sights. The Kepler Microflex is something I've been using on almost all of my loadouts, and it's just your classic red dot. You can't go wrong with it. I then throw on a muzzle. I have the compensator, which I have found to be the best muzzle in the entire game, hands down. Way better than the muzzle brake, way better than the ported compensator. And if you want to be suppressed, you could do that, but I just wanted that vertical recoil control so I can land more shots, and that also leads to a faster time to kill when you're landing more of your shots, so you want to do the compensator. For my barrel, I kind of wanted to build on what they buffed, which are the damage ranges. So I threw on the long barrel, which gives me another increase in damage range. I just want to, again, further that increase in damage range that they gave us and kind of run with it, make the XM4 even better. So that's why we have this on. I then throw on an underbarrel, and for some reason, man, I don't know what it is, but the vertical foregrip paired with that compensator is genuinely insane. I always do flip-flop between the vertical foregrip and the precision foregrip. It's just kind of whatever I'm feeling that day, but both are incredible because they do give you that horizontal recoil control. But today we're going to go with the vertical foregrip. And then my fifth and final attachment is a bigger magazine size. This is where it's a little bit more of a personal preference thing. I could do the 45, which is what I normally run, because I get a bigger magazine count and I don't even get a slower reload speed. You see the cons, there's none there. But if you go ahead and increase it to the big ol' 60, you not only lose out on reload speed, but your sprint to fire and your aim down sight speed are gonna take a hit as well. So it is personal preference. If you're okay with your weapon being just a tad bit slower, go ahead and do the 60. You do get a lot more ammo, or you could just take the 15 bullets extra in your mag and you're chilling. That's what I really like to run. So there's the entire build here on screen. I do want to take it to the firing range so you guys could see just how incredible it is. XM4, man, again, it is hands down the easiest weapon, one of them to use in the game, and handling's great, recoil control's great, TTK is great. You could honestly just never go wrong with the XM4. Next, we have the Compact 92, which I think received the most significant update out of any of the other weapons. So here's a little bit of what they said about it. The Compact 92 can now kill with one headshot in hardcore modes at its max damage range. Bullets to kill at the minimum damage range have not changed, but headshots will now be much more effective at that range. So essentially, the damage range values didn't really change, but the headshots at ranges is a lot better. So what you're going to want to do, aim a little bit higher with the Compact 92 after the update. So here's what I found to be the best build for it. I went with the compensator. To my knowledge, out of any Black Ops 6 weapon in the game, this has the highest fire rate. So it's going to be naturally the hardest to control. So we want to put as many recoil control attachments as we possibly can to make it easier to use. Vertical recoil control with the compensator is going to be your way to go. And just to get out of the way, we're going to go to the very end here, fire mod, and throw on recoil springs. You don't unlock this until like way later down the road in the leveling. The max level for this is 43, so you can see it is 100% worth it. You need to have this on. Like, I honestly refuse to use the compact without this. So maybe a little rough to level the thing up, but trust me, it's 100% worth it because you get horizontal and vertical recoil control. Next, I went ahead and I threw on the long barrel. I like this a lot because of the damage range once again. So since it was an increase, I'm going to increase it myself, make it a little bit stronger at those longer ranges. Why not? I then threw on a bigger magazine count. Like I said, biggest magazine is what you need to throw on here because of how high of a fire rate it has. So you could go all the way down to a 60. The first one's a 40, which is great. I think the base is 30 if I'm not mistaken. Extended mag 2 is 50. Throw the whole thing on. Trust me, it feels so much better. Obviously, it's going to slow down naturally your aim down sight speed, the reload speed, and the sprint to fire. That reload speed might be the slowest thing out of the other two. I didn't really find an issue with the aim down sight speed or sprint to fire because my final attachment is going to kind of fix that a little bit, and it's going to be a rear grip. And what I like most is the ergonomic grip, because I get slide to fire, dive to fire, and aim down sight. So when I'm sliding into a gunfight and I'm trying to get myself into a gunfight, it's going to be much quicker. And I always find myself sliding my way into gunfights. So this is really beneficial. The aim down sight speed, I can kind of get those aim down real fast. I can be super quick and snappy, which is really, really important. I personally don't dive to fire, but I mean, that's what the options here are. So I'm like, screw it, I might as well keep it on. So ergonomic, throw that on, is going to be your best friend. And there's the entire build for my compact 92. Bring this into the firing range once again. These recoil springs make a whole big difference. I mean, you could clearly see this medium range. That's as far as you're probably gonna get. Down here, you should not be using the compact, right? If you're doing this, you're insane. But if you want to be insane, go ahead and try to do that. It's just not gonna work. But right here, this is as far as you really need to get, realistically speaking, and it's pretty easy. So the recoil control is really manageable. I'm glad they buffed this. I really am. I already enjoyed it, so seeing it get some love is honestly just a huge W. For the third loadout, we have what I think is going to be the new best marksman rifle, and that is the SWAT 556. They ended up nerfing the AEK, and you guys could see, I mean, they completely destroyed the rapid fire attachment on the AEK, but they didn't leave the SWAT out. This also did receive a nerf on the rapid fire attachment specifically, but it wasn't to the degree that the AEK's was nerfed. But on top of that, the SWAT also did receive a slight increase in tactical sprint to fire, and aim down sight speed, which is really, really nice. So here's the best build for it. I think I'm gonna have some gameplay on this in a few days, because this is a lot of fun to use. So obviously I have the Kepler Micro Flex Optagon. It's pretty much a standard at this point. Same with the muzzle. It's going to be the compensator, best muzzle in the game. There's not much more for me to say about it. What I ended up doing here is throwing on the vertical foregrip. So I threw this on because they did nerf the recoil control a little bit more on that rapid fire attachment. So it's going to be a lot harder to control it. I kind of want to make sure my weapon is as steady as possible, because with marksman rifles like this, landing shots is quite literally everything. So we have the combination of this underbarrel that gives us horizontal recoil control, and the muzzle. It's not going to move whatsoever. It is a 3-burst, an automatic 3-burst, so you can just hold the trigger down. So you're going to want to throw on a bigger magazine count, because you will be burning through ammo fairly quickly. I like the extended mag 1. You get an extra 15 shots. It goes to a 45 round magazine. A little bit of a slower reload speed, completely okay. And then the fifth and final attachment is the recently nerfed rapid fire. Again, it did receive quite a bit of a nerf, but the AEK's one is far worse. So running rapid fire on the SWAT is still a good idea. There's a full build, and I want to bring this to the firing range because keep in mind the aim down sight speed did get increased as well. So it's okay that I didn't throw on a rear grip, because I wanted to throw on like a commando. I had the commando on initially, but I realized you needed this vertical foregrip here because of the recoil control nerf. So you gotta kind of compensate for it. And you could see here it is automatic. It's pretty damn good, man. I think it's going to take over the AEK now, because running rapid fire on that is just not going to be as easy as it is to run rapid fire on this instead. Still super manageable to control the recoil. And yeah, I think you're looking at the new best marksman rifle, and thankfully it's the first one you unlock. For the fourth class setup, we have the GPR 91. I recently made a gameplay video on this. I think we all collectively agreed, probably the worst AR right next to the Goblin. So they did end up buffing this, and here's a little bit of a description that they wrote for us. In addition to the hardcore adjustments, we are further improving some handling times on the GPR 91 to solidify its role within the class. So again, it was kind of like down here, and all the other ARs were like up here. So they're trying to bring it up so it's a lot more even, which I could really appreciate. So here's my build for the GPR. I did update it just a tad bit. At least I think I did. Again, Kepler Microflex. I like the compensator on. Not going to say too much about that at this point. I like a bigger mag, and I felt like just your standard extended mag wasn't enough. Like the 45 was cool. It just wasn't cutting it. I had to throw on the 60 round magazine. Again, you are going to lose out on a little sprint to fire, a little bit of aim down sight, and reload speed. Completely okay though. It just did not feel right with that 45. My rear grip, I really enjoyed using the quick draw grip, where just focused on aim down sight speed. It made this incredibly snappy, so I can get that first shot off, which to me, on the GPR specifically, is incredibly important. And then my fifth and final attachment, I mean, I could leave it up to you at this point. You could go ahead and do a long barrel, so it's a lot stronger at longer ranges. You could even go ahead and throw on recoil springs, where you could just primarily focus on it being an absolute laser beam. It really is up to you. I personally prefer to do the long long barrel because of those damage ranges, so you can actually compete against other ARs and make it a little bit stronger. And I mean, look how this looks like a full-blown LMG at this point. A very straightforward build. There's not much to talk about on the GPR here. I'm really glad that they improved the handling on it. So not much statistically speaking, but it's just gonna be a little bit quicker now, so it could be more snappy. And that's why I'm focusing on having that aim down sight speed incredible with that quick draw grip on it. And it feels pretty damn good, honestly. A little bit more love I think it's gonna need, but it's definitely something I recommend trying out now after the update. And for the 5th and final setup, I decided to throw the C9 in here. It wasn't touched at all. It's the only weapon in this top 5 that didn't receive any nerfs or buffs, which is a good thing. So it still remains maybe one of the best weapons in the entire game for sure. So I think it deserves a spot in this top 5. I like to throw a compensator on it. At this point, again, don't need to say much on it. Extended mag, you could do the 40 or 50. It really is up to you. I think specifically for me, as someone who likes to rush run, be really quick and fast on their feet, extended mag 1, it does the job perfectly. It's a 40 round magazine. For the rear grip, the CQB grip is so perfect, man. You get the dive to fire, slide to fire, and sprint to fire, so the weapon is just up and ready quite literally instantly. It's unreal. For the barrel, I like the reinforced barrel. I love the combination of both damage range and bullet velocity, so I can get away with using this and finding success with it at those medium range engagements. And then my 5th and final attachment is going to be the balance stock. I love the strafing movement, aim walking movement. So again, I can just kind of break people's cameras. It's going to be so much harder for them to land shots on me when I am just so damn fast on my feet and I'm just strafing back and forth. It's really nice. So there's my updated C9 build. I love this weapon so much. I barely had the time to use it because I've been covering a lot of other weapons, but if I'm just kind of chilling or hanging out on like some Babylon or some subsonic, I mean, I'd be surprised you see me with this thing on. Seriously, it feels incredible. I'm surprised they left this alone too. I mean, they nerfed the XM4 just a tad bit in some areas and buffed it in others, but the C9 being left alone, I think that's a good sign. I guess they really wanted us to continue to use it. They also did nerf this they ended up banning this into CDL, so I'm really surprised. I love my C9 so much, man. Now, no matter what 5 of these loadouts you choose to use, the rest of the loadout stays the same all the time. So we have my secondary. I found this to be the best secondary in the entire game, the automatic Gurkova pistol. Here are the attachments I'm using on it. I'm not gonna go too crazy in depth. You guys can just jot those down if you're interested. We got myself the knife right there. We got the stim shots, which is my go-to tactical, so I can instantly regenerate my health to stay alive longer. We got the Semtexes. I think this is the best lethal in the game. One of the first unlocks you get anyways. For the field upgrade, we got the assault pack, which not only replenishes ammo but lethals and tacticals, which is incredibly beneficial if you're going on streaks. For my perks, perk 1, we got gung ho, so I could full sprint and reload at the same time, which could really save you sometimes. We got dispatcher, which allows me to earn non-lethal streaks like scout pulses, UAVs, counters, and harps a lot faster, and those are incredibly beneficial to finding out where the enemies are at. Very valuable information. And then double time allows you to get around the map a little bit quicker, get more kills and whatnot. My go-to wild card is perk greed. I get asked a lot like, hey, what should I use my permanent unlock token on? This is one of them for sure. This should be one of your first unlocks because you don't get this until level 54. Just get it now, and then you have 4 perks all the way through prestiging. You don't got to wait till 54 to get a 4th perk on. And then my 4th perk I like to run, I do change it a few times. I like scavenger because not only do you replenish ammo, but lethals and tacticals just like your assault pack. Incredibly OP. And honestly, you can even do bankroll if you want. You want to earn your streaks a little bit quicker. This is a fantastic option. You can even do dexterity, which will help you win a little bit more of your gunfights because it does reduce weapon motion while jumping, sliding, and diving. So if you're taking advantage of the omni movement, go ahead and do dexterity. Again, bankroll's incredible. What other options we got here? You can do ninja, stay more silent, do ghost. You got a lot of other options. So it's really up to you. Throw whatever else you want on. But I like to do scavenger because I do get that red enforcer perk, which every kill I get a temporary buff to not only movement speed, but health regen as well, which is really nice. So it's basically a 2 for 1. You throw perk greed on, I get 2 more perks, which is incredible. So there you go. There's the entire loadout. There's my season 1 top 5. Let me know what you guys think. Is there something I missed out on? Something I should have included? What do you think of the weapon tuning? What do you guys think of everything that's coming? But that's gonna wrap it up for today's video, man. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. You guys all stay safe. Have a great day, and I'm out. Doses.